here's how to bring a 3D model that we generate from Runchat into the scene. So if I double click here, I can create an image. This is the alternative to using the prompt mark below, and I'll just write the prompt myself. I want to make a sculpture to insert in the foreground of the image. So I'm going to hit run on that and double click it to zoom in. This is one output. Maybe we could try a few others. So I'm going to increase the number of variations here. So I'm going to increase this to 4 and hit play. Okay, and now we have a few different options to pick from. So I like this one in the bottom left here. And so what I'm going to do is just hold Alt and drag this. And you can see that it opens this up here, so I can just keep working from the single image. In this case, we want to convert this to 3D. And so if I drag away from the output, I can choose to create a 3D model from this image. By default, it's going to use Trellis, which is a model that gives a relatively good output quite cheaply. So I'm going to run this and we'll get a 3D model in a moment. Great, so it's made this 3D model for us of this abstract sculpture. And you can see that once we've got this node selected, the ability to export this model into SketchUp is enabled. So I'll press this and it'll import it into SketchUp. Okay, so it's imported here. It's quite small. And what I'm going to do next is place it in the scene. So I'm going to hit M for move and just grab the corner of this for now and just place it in the foreground here. Obviously, it's quite small, so we'll hit S to scale it and we'll just uniformly scale this up. I think it's going to be quite large like this. And then maybe we'll move it into a more appropriate area. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. And I'll now bring another screenshot into Runchat. Cool. We've now got a screen grab of our bridge with our model that we placed ourselves. I guess an alternative way to do this in Runchat, if you wanted to, would be to take this output and this node here. So let's do this, for example. Select both of them and say to place the structure into the foreground of the model. We'd like to place the sculpture in the foreground of this image, and we want some control over how we do that. So I'm going to use the edit tool to specify where I want this model to be. Okay, I'm going to specify where I'd like to place the model. So I'm just going to place it here, and I'm going to add some text. Just place it here, save this. You see it's got my change here. And then I'm going to select both of these nodes by dragging on the canvas, and I'm going to say to follow the instructions. We use Nano Banana for this. Okay, so you can see how it's done exactly what we've asked, but I think given that the image is not realistic and the sculpture is also shot from a specific angle, it's done a pretty crude job of this, which is why in this case I'd preferred to bring the model in myself and work from there. So I've got the model exactly where I want it. And you know what? In fact, I changed my mind. I want to move it a bit to the left in the frame. Take out old image, select it, delete it, and press the import screenshot button again. Okay, and now I've got this image that I'm happy with. I guess at some point, the style of this model has reverted, and you can see this like repeated texture. So I'm also just going to quickly flip back to the style that I had with flat shading. Another thing that I'm going to change is there's all these crease lines, the edges shown on this model, and I think we could remove them to get a better result. So I'm going to go to the edges and style. I'm just going to remove profiles. We can quit out of this, can select this, and again, just take a screenshot of the scene.